me trample me enemies. Trample me enemies. Trample them. Trample them. Jump, 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 trample them until the dead. Oh, oh, I. He tell me to love and not to wait. So good to them who will do bad to you. He tell me to rise up, all those who fall. Put some help in and let them stand on their feet as tall. Tell me don't jealous nobody. Tell me don't thief no envy. Tell me do good, so that good will follow you. Tell me hold my head up high. No one let them who jealous I. Tell me stand strong, stand strong, stand strong as a lion. The man with the anger, he tell me be strong. The man with the anger, he tell me don't run. The man with the anger, he tell me hold on. He tell me trample me enemies. Trample me enemies. Trample you. Trample she. Jump, jump, everybody. Trample them until the dead. Oh, oh, I. Mama. Know why I'm strong, strong as a lion. No oppressors can't keep me down. I'm not afraid, I'm not going to run. I'm gonna stand right here and face bitter season. You tell me be away from people, kids, all of them who know my secrets. You tell me it's them, only them, who can reveal it. And if I make a little mistake, I'm not conscious, man, is that I make. Just correct me, don't pull me down, don't press me on the ground. The man with the anger, he tell me be strong, brother man. The man with the anger, he tell me don't run. The man with the anger, he tell me hold on. He tell me trample me enemies, trample me enemies. He want me trample you, trample she, jump, jump, everybody, trample them until the dead. He want me trample them until the dead. He want me trample them until the dead.
The time is St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's 12 minutes after 8 o'clock. It's the 8th day of the 10th month, 2024. It's a Tuesday. And let me remind listeners that tonight's program is coming to you compliments Basil's Bar. You find them downstairs, the Cobblestone, obliquely opposite partners in hotel and in Musty. And the views expressed on this program tonight is not those of the sponsor. They are not those of WeFM. They are my views, and we're using the platform of WeFM to get my message across to you. And I'm going to speak for a while, and the lines will be open, so you can give us a call at 45-799-97. That is our WhatsApp and our regular line. And if for some reason you're home and you have the service of Digicel, it's 532-97-99-97. Good evening to you, wherever WeFM is being heard. Good evening to you, whether you're here in Canada, United States, in the region. Good to know that you're waiting on this Tuesday night program. Before we get into our discussion, I want to say good evening to Ellison Crick. Yeah, I met Crick last Saturday, and Crick was elated to see me, like I was elated to see him, and he was doing relatively well. On behalf of WeFM management and staff and the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, I want to congratulate Rennie Cruz. Rennie Cruz was recognized for his impartiality by the government and people of Cuba. And I think it is good. I think that when you think of people in St. Vincent, the ones who gone, Pana Campbell QC, Jomo Thomas, Rennie Cruz, Chobamba Rose, quite a few people, Sister Anissa Batiste, people who could speak with a level of impartiality. Good to know that the people of Cuba decided, well, hey, this man Rennie Cruz well given an honor, and let me take the opportunity on behalf of the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines to congratulate the Republic of Taiwan and their celebrations. Although I am in the corner of the NDP when they win the next government that they should relinquish tie and go to mainland China. Let me remind you, the views here are not those of WeFM and our sponsors. Good evening to you, Sister Anissa Batiste. Good evening to you, Mr. Ernesto Cook and Mr. Frank De Silva. Frank, I saw you today at the Bank of St. Vincent and Grenadines at the old E.T. Joshua Airport, but I didn't think you want to be disturbed when people are going to deal with the monies they have in this. They don't want to be disturbed, so I just leave you alone, but I did see you. You know, I want to make a bold statement. Everybody know that I am not a supporter of the ULP. I'm a well-wisher of the NDP, and that is why this program is not a political program. We strive here to be impartial and fair. And everybody in St. Vincent and the Grenadines who listen to this program and who hear my commentary here, there, and everywhere knows that I'm very fond of Ralph Gonsalves politically. I think that I understand that he is not feeling so well. If you listen to me, Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves, hope you get better soon. Everybody know that I am fond of Ralph Gonsalves. Ralph Gonsalves became Prime Minister in 2001, and everything after that is about Ralph Gonsalves. 23 years, going 24 years. And, you know, would it be fair to say a minority of persons are becoming wary of the word Ralph Gonsalves and the ULP? Would it be fair? Is it a minority or a majority? People supporting the ULP will say it's a minority, and people support the NDP will say, oh, well, we got the popular votes, so the popular vote speak for itself. That might be so. But here's something. And I'm going to repeat that. The views expressed here are not those of WeFM, nor my sponsor, Basil Charles. Okay? They are my views, and we want you to either respect them, and if you listen and for some reason you don't want to participate, you can switch someplace else, okay? And it's not a good thing to do that, but it have people who just feel, well, they could have their own way. And I was listening to the Right Honorable Prime Minister, and I refer to him right deliberately. Freddie Finch always tell me that the only person who has that handle is the former Prime Minister, Robert Milton Keith. But out of extreme respect, I always use the word the Right Honorable Ralph Gonsalves when I refer to him as Prime Minister. I don't know if you were fortunate to listen to him some time ago on the National Broadcasting Radio Station some Wednesdays ago. And sometimes I sit and I say to myself, Ralph Gonsalves is bright, articulate, highly read, full of experience, political activist for over 50 years and prime minister for over 22 years. That comes with some sort of accomplishment, okay? That is not easily erased. And I believe the reason why the NDP is in office as opposition is because of the strength of Ralph Gonsalves as the leader of the ULP. And that what took place when Sir Vincent Beach was the leader of the opposition and former Prime Minister Sir James Mitchell was Prime Minister. Sir James was too strong for Vincent Beach, and today, after 23 years, Ralph Gonsalves appears that he's still miles ahead of Lorraine Friday or Dr. Godwin Friday as the leader of the opposition. And that is why I'm using a word, a very mild word. Mild. It doesn't have any big coloration. To say that I am disappointed with the Honorable Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves, where he made some, not derogatory, but political comments about Dr. Shallow. Dr. Shallow is currently the president of the West Indies Board Cricket. And those of us who don't know of Shallow know of him recently. And we get to know him even more now. He announced his candidate for the NDP in North Leeward seat. And I went looking for Carlos James to let Carlos James know. I want to tell him for myself. And he gave me an answer. I will tell you the answer he gave me. I went looking for him and he accommodated me. I said, Carlos, will I call him Mr. James in the office? He said, Kingsley, Carlos for years. I said, okay, sir. And I said, you know, I did support you in the last election because I wanted to get rid of Lazy Man Patel, who just sell chicken and shawarma and shop down the road. But I say, Dr. Shallow is going to win the seat for the NDP in the next general election. He listened to me and he said, that is your opinion. You don't share it. Well, I was expecting that for him. I don't expect that Carlos James will concede that Dr. Shallow could or may beat him. You know, I say you won the seat by one vote. The NDP didn't think it's worthwhile challenging you. And they tell Patel, boy, take a back seat. You're too weak. Time for you to go. Enough is enough. Okay, that's all I said to them. And I said to Carlos James that Shallow is going to beat you by 1 or 2 votes because that is the margin that I'm hoping him to beat you by. He said to me, Kingsley, you're joking. Dr. Shallow can't beat me. I said, why you say so, Carlos James? He said, imagine the NDP got the popular vote in the last election and he won the seat by 1 vote. So he beat Patel so bad. And when they beat a man by 1 goal or 2 goals, they beat him really bad. And we had our exchange and I maintained my position that Shallow is going to win the seat for the NDP. I'm not suggesting by any stretch of imagination that the NDP is going to win the next election. I say Shallow is going to win his seat in North Leeward. And the reason why I come to that conclusion, since Dr. Shallow announced his candidacy for the NDP, I never hear more negative from people who support the ULP. Shallow this, shallow that. But Shallow is the person who had to impress on Dr. Gonsalve and the Minister of Finance to make that sizable investment at Annisville for World Cup 2024. Dr. Shallow was responsible for bringing 20, a faster version of cricket in civics and the Grannies. The development we see over the last couple of years under his tenureship is credible. And when you go hear our Prime Minister, before Dr. Shallow announced his candidacy for the NDP in North Leeward, Prime Minister Gonsalve, and Prime Minister, I hope you listen. If they didn't listen, let the police record me and tell you what I say. I don't want to misquote me. You thought that Shallow was the best thing of a sliced bread. And it's bothering me that I heard the Prime Minister singing praises on Shallow. And all of a sudden now, the state of West Indies cricket today must be put at the feet of Dr. Shallow. The demise of the West Indies team where we are not going where we should, that is all because of Dr. Shallow. You could imagine, use your imagination, right? When Dr. Gonsalve suggested to His Excellency, the Governor General, to appoint Senator Peters and Senator Minister of Foreign Affairs, it's because Dr. Gonsalve think that she have the ability to solve. You could imagine if for some reason Senator Peters did join the NDP. I don't know why the negatives have to surface when quality people like Mr. Cupid in my area and Mr. Shallow, who's going to run in North Leeward. And somebody listened to me in Fountain and Bailey and say, Kingsley Cupid is a highly qualified person and I'm advocating for the executive ranks of the West St. John constituency to vote and nominate Mr. Cupid when the time right for the candidacy for the NDP. Forget about former Senator Kebakas, Batiste, etc., and forget about Sir James' daughter, Louise Mitchell. She's passed. Let's go in with another home, respectfully homeboy like Curtis King. And I think that Mr. Cupid is well placed to create political upset in our area. If I were Curtis King and Sir James' daughter, Louise Mitchell, come in, I go to sleep and don't campaign. But Curtis King, I hope you listen because I just came from where you were a while ago and hope you listen on the way home. That Mr. Cupid is going to put up a fight like no other. I'm going to remind you what kind of fight you're going to put up, Curtis King. In 1974, I remember Muhammad Ali and Joe Fraser. Muhammad Ali gave Joe Fraser some beats, some licks in the head. And Joe Fraser stand there and he just lose by default. Muhammad Ali say, he's so good, he fly like a butterfly and sting like a bee. And Fraser, and that is what is going to take place when the next election is called, when Curtis King come up against Mr. Cupid. And that is for Mr. Cupid, okay? And I'll tell you something. Let me say good evening to Alpen Allen's son, former banker and former pilot for Liat, now a big businessman at the old Annisville Airport. I am so upset and disappointed with Dr. Gonsalve's comments and commentary about Dr. Keishan Shallow. I have known Shallow for quite some time. I have a friend, I hope he's listening. I don't know if I call by his right name, but when I say Dr. Barker, he will know who I mean, and Dr. Cleve Scott will know who I mean. Went to school with Shallow, and they know Shallow has ability. Mr. Shallow is a highly qualified person, and he's a quality Vincentian. And we used to advocate and say, I wonder why quality people like Mr. Cupid and Mr. Shallow and Mr. Providence are coming forward to be candidates of the NDP. Now they are coming forward. Our Prime Minister, our extreme Prime Minister, will find all kind of negative to see if he could paint a negative picture. But let me tell you something. Dr. Shallow, these are my advice. And the views expressed here are not those of Basil's, now WFM. If I were you, I will ignore Dr. Gonsalves and all the negatives come from the ELP. And you will say, Kingsley, but why are you picking it up? I have to defend Dr. Shallow because when stupidnesses are being said about a quality person like Mr. Shallow, because all of a sudden he chooses to go with the NDP, and the Prime Minister will say, he's going to meet darkness, and the stars can't shine in darkness. I'm paraphrasing here, okay? And the state of West Indies cricket today is because of Dr. Shallow tenure as. And I wonder what people realize that he used to be in charge here, then he went to Woodland Island, then he moved on to West Indies. We as Vincentian, at our 45th year of our independence, should be proud that we have an honorable, unique, quality Vincentian like Dr. Shallow make himself available to come forward as a candidate for a political party in St. Vincent who once served as government and may be close to become government again. We need quality people like them, Mr. Providence and Mr. Cupid, to come forward. And if I'm hearing right from Captain, the candidate I hear coming in Mespo, thank God they push out Bernard Wiley, is also a quality Vincentian. Not saying that he's going to beat Jimmy Prince, because Jimmy Prince is the only candidate I figure was going to win back his seat. But just to have quality and the depth of this young man will mean a lot, and say to young people who intend to be politician or candidate on the road, you will be accepted by both parties. And it is not a nice thing when you have a Prime Minister who's been around for so long. We look at a quality candidate like Mr. Shallow and play politics. You notice I say politics? Because I'm taking the commentary or the comments made by Ralph Gonsalves as political commentary and comedy. Because on the surface, it comes over that way. But and you pay attention to Dr. Shallow, you know that Dr. Shallow is a quality person. And I am very proud of Mr. Shallow, and I hope that the party show their weight behind him and show him all the love and support he needs. Because let me tell you something. If by any stretch of imagination the NDP will win the next election, Dr. Shallow will be a part of the executive arm. He will be in the winner's row of the NDP. We're going to send Carlos James back to his lot chamber, where he's highly trained for. And I am not going to encourage anybody here to call tonight. If you're going to call it talking nonsense, and cut you off. You don't have to agree with me, but you have to have a level of respect for our 45th year as independence. I am just sharing my opinion. You don't necessarily have to agree with me, but you could disagree in a respectful way. And I don't want nobody to say, what I heard Shallow saying, and Shallow was right, that some of the achievements that took place over the last 23 years under Ralph Gonsalves and the leadership of the LP, what while commenting on. As a politician, it is nice when he say more should have been done in the last 23 years. Of course, more should have been done. But he thinks that Not like Noah Jackson, who studied the program a few weeks ago and said nothing happened on the NDP for 17 years. Who could dispute that Ralph Gonsalves ain't build the airport? I just found out via the anniversary at the Baptist Church that Taiwan is going to fund the entire expenditure of the new acute referral hospital at Annisvale. That is an accomplishment. We have so much young people in Taiwan studying to be professional. All those are good things. When we are going to continue to build on what was done by the NDP at the 11th Community College, it's a benefit for Vincentian. So when Dr. Charlotte said there are lots of accomplishments, but more should have been done. Nothing wrong with that. That is the politics of making a statement from a politician. But you didn't hear Dr. Charlotte say nothing was accomplished. You wouldn't get that kind of negative coming from Dr. Charlotte because he knows that little accomplishment take place, but some of the accomplishment benefit Vincentian. I can name quite a few of them. Disadvantage loan at the Bank of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, where Vincentian get monies to go and study, and encouraging these parents and guardians to encourage them to pay back the money so other Vincentian could go and do that. The hospital, the bridge over Rabaka, the international airport at Argyle. So much accomplishment. And we have to remind ourselves that Taiwan started diplomatic relationship under St. Vincent and the Grenadines in what, 1981? Who was Prime Minister? Sir James Mitchell. And we see some intensification by Ralph Gonsalves and former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Louis Straker. I don't think I'll be alive to see that the UN recognize Taiwan as a state, because they will say they're part of mainland China, and I'm hoping that when Dr. Friday becomes Prime Minister, he will relinquish all ties with Taiwan and go back to mainland China. And let me remind you that the views expressed here are not those of Basilisk and WeFM. They are my views, okay? My views is not the gospel, but it's how I feel about a certain thing. And you will say, but Kingsley, some of the accomplishments you spoke about, how we're going to deal with issues like paying back the monies. Of course, there will be avenues. We might get a lump sum of money that we can pay a father and bet the one time, you never know. Or they're going to say, Friday, how it takes to be Prime Minister. But let me tell you something. I have made bold statements on this radio. I will continue to say them. When we had the 2013 floods, when we had the volcano eruption, when we had the vaccine and its problem, and money is short and the country struggling, I did say that Ralph Gonsalves at the time was the best person to be Prime Minister. And the reason why I say so, I don't think that Friday had that experience to say St. Vincent out of those terrible times. And I am hoping that Friday, when he's sitting in opposition, he will look at Dr. Gonsalves, pay attention to some of the policies that benefit the people of St. Vincent and Grenadines, and find ways to continue them, like when how Ralph Gonsalves continued the Coast Guard base, how Ralph Gonsalves continued with the community college, how Ralph Gonsalves used the MMM report, which was done by NDP, to build the airport, and other things that benefit the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'm hoping that Friday will pay attention to those beneficiaries that come under Ralph Gonsalves ULP and the Republic of Taiwan and China. And Kingsley, you're confusing. No, I'm not confusing. I will still maintain that if I was Friday and I become Prime Minister, I will go to mainland China, because I think we will get a lot of financial support, because I don't think that, as Ralph Gonsalves always say, selling passport wouldn't benefit the way it benefits Dominica and St. Lucia in recent times, especially St. Kitts. So those are just my avenues. So the people in North Leeward My name is Kingsley the Freitas, and I am making an appeal for you. When you go into the polls, whenever Ralph Gonsalves decides to call election, give Dr. Shallow a chance. We need quality people like Dr. Shallow to take St. Vincent to the next step. I told you, I listened to Camilla Gonsalves 2 weeks ago on this station at the Issue program hosted by Cicely Ryan, P. John, and Joel Providence, and I thought his presentation was good. I listened to him a while ago, representing his father, and I say, what an impeccable man in terms of his presentation. We need quality people to represent us. And Shallow is in that bracket where you could bring quality representation to the people of North Leeward and to a lesser extent St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And going back to my constituency, well, I make it totally clear to you already. I have known Curtis King all my life. I used to give him a hard time. Still giving him a hard time politically, but I'm advocating for Mr. Cupid, who I think is more grounded with the community, who understands the life of struggling people. I can remember, I can remember when I was younger, I went to Curtis King as Mr. Buffy King, and I said, Curtis, I'd like to see you become a politician. He said, yeah? And I said, I want you to come one of these and join my party. You go figure out which party I talk about. You know what he said to me? You really serious? I said, yeah. He never tell me no, he never tell me yes. But when I hear Ralph Gonsalves convince Curtis King to run, you're going to knock me down with a feather. I don't expect Curtis would ever join the ULP. I remember when Curtis used to be a part of the National Youth Council. I remember when Curtis used to be the principal of grammar school. I remember Margaret and I had the tape with Curtis when Curtis used to be advocating for people to champion for the NS and the retirement benefits and teachers' ply and thing. Curtis no longer have that taste and value anymore. Curtis is the ultimate politician who was demoted as the senior minister to junior minister of education. No, I don't want no second fiddle. I want a quality candidate, and that is why I'm endorsing the appointment of Mr. Cupid as the next person to run for the NDP. Thank you, Kebakas Baptiste, and no Sir James Mitchell, daughter Louise. We have a credible person who understands the life, who know what it is to grow up poor, who had to jump over a bridge, and if you slip and you jump in the bridge, your shoes, everything will be set up to go to school. The man come from a bowels of poor people. Like Curtis, that is why the election in the constituency will be so interesting. But in the long run, I'm advocating for people to vote for Mr. Cupid when the time comes. And I am hoping that Ralph Gonsalves, as Prime Minister and leader of this country, will start understanding the importance of having young people in both parties. Yes, you have Senator Morgan. Yes, you have Camilla Gonsalves. Yes, you have Senator Peters, Senator Bob, quite a few people. And you just imagine those persons who are part of the ULP, who are a member of the NDP. What would have been said about them? I can remember what they say about Mr. Eustace and useless, remember that? And that comes from people who know and who knows that Mr. Eustace is a quality technocrat, but because of the politics, they say, and useless. No, we gone past that now. We gone past that now. And let me tell you something. I am hoping that the teachers And somebody will say, you plan to vote next election? Of course I plan to vote next election. Why are you going to vote next election? Because I figure that I was displaced when it comes to information. People might say, well, Franklin Silver, Mr. Hamilton, and Issa Battis, and Jomo Thomas, and other people to speak about the inconsistency about the vaccine and we shouldn't take it. But when Glen Beach was the CEO of the Tourism Authority, he met with us as taxi operator, and he said if you want to be gainfully employed, you should take the vaccine if you want to continue to work your taxi at the airport. Should or you must. So I took the vaccine because I said, who will give me money is what I needed. I'm no longer the same. I told my friend in Canada some days back, if for some reason you miss me, I'm gone before 70. Because while I'm getting better, I must know myself. Yes, I'm probably aging, but 60 ain't so bad. I think there are lots of people out there who took the vaccine. I want them to send a message to Rav Gonsalve and Jimmy Prince when they bring that vaccine mandate and say, if you are frontline workers, teachers, taxi drivers, or customer service, you should take the vaccine if you want to be gainfully employed. And those of you who didn't take it, I'm in your corner tonight because I'm a casualty of the vaccination that I took. I must know how I feel. I must know how I felt over the last 2 years or so. I'm not up there anymore. Sometimes you're up, another time you're down. And I'm hoping that the people who didn't take the vaccine will make Jimmy Prince and Rav Gonsalve pay a political price. So all the teachers who waiting on the appeal court to give you the opinion and endorse what was said by Justice Esco Henry, we will have a time where we will say to Rav Gonsalve and Jimmy Prince, enough is enough, time for all it to go. Let me remind you, it's 30 minutes before 9 o'clock, and the views expressed here are not those of VFM and Basil's Bar. Let's take a break and come back with your thoughts.
Whatever you are celebrating, birthdays, anniversaries, engagements, retirement, or just celebrating life, the place to be is at Basil's Bar Kingstown. Established for over 38 years, we are open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner with an exquisite ambiance. We have a set menu and 3 a la carte menus to choose from, and we are flexible to all requests. We go above and beyond to serve you. Basil's Bar Kingstown, where it's more than just a meal, it's an adventure. Call for reservations at 457-2713.
It's Feedback with host Kingsley DeFreitas. This and every Tuesday night from 8 p.m. for 2 full hours, right here on WeFM 99.9. Join him as he brings different guests weekly on this informative and interactive program. It's Feedback. To be a part of the Feedback program, call us at 457-9997 or send us a WhatsApp at 457-9997. It's Feedback.
11 minutes, 30 seconds on to 9 o'clock. We seem to have a very first caller. Good evening, caller.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Providence.
So I must say that your father would have been proud of you.
Well, whenever I see you, Mr. Providence, you remind me of my father because my father was an encyclopedia like you. So I know what you're saying makes a lot of sense. Yes.
Yeah, and another thing too, it was one of the best presentations ever made here on our TV or radio with respect to by a patriot.
Yes.
Defense of the interests of the people. Yeah?
Thank you.
Yeah? And wish you a long life.
Yes, Mr. Providence.
Not with notwithstanding the agony you've gone through because of the COVID.
Yes, yes, yes.
Long life to you, and
Yes.
I stand with you.
Yes, yes.
Now, here, I could talk, if I were as articulate as you, I could talk for the next 3/4 of an hour.
Okay,
But
okay.
I wouldn't burn you that, except to say
Yes.
that I thank you for the support you're giving to the brother in North Leeward,
Yes.
of St. David, the parish of St. David,
Yes.
because we badly need it.
Yes.
We badly need a change. We have been an agricultural community since after slavery.
Yes.
And it's because of the access to the land that we survived. We didn't have wealth, but we had good, healthy food and fish
Yes.
almost every day. You
Yes.
see? So now, when I heard our administrators a couple of years ago say that we cannot depend on agriculture to advance our socioeconomic reality, I was shocked.
Yes.
Less than 50, and that is less than 50 years after we had become an independent state,
Yes.
when Britain controlled these fertile lands and used the land and slave labor to generate income, which has fortified their society, so that even today they're fairly comfortable.
Yes.
But we say we can't depend on agriculture. And so, although this regime here criticized Senior Mitchell on that score, they're doing the same thing.
Definitely. Yeah.
Look at Ames. Ames gone away with millions of dollars, leaving our people poor. Disadvantaged. Another thing too, which I am using this timetable, the 2001 timetable, to determine our situation now. In 2001, Senior Gonsalves and his party said, "Listen, Mitchell had neglected the people. He had neglected agriculture." That was true, because Mitchell had said, "Listen, we can't depend on agriculture. We have to go to tourism."
Yes.
And so he stopped fixing the roads.
Yeah, I think for agronomists that was an unfortunate statement, which was made by Sir James Mitchell at the time.
Yeah, but he followed up. He did the same thing.
Yes.
You can remember Glenn was a strong opposer of what's happening in Kanawha, but no, they're doing the same thing.
Yes.
Look, we have people posing as big what do you call it, entrepreneurs.
Yes.
They get easy land ownership while our people suffering, selling off the land which our people should be using next 40 or so years as they come back home and so on and want to develop. No, so that is number one. No, our present regime did not honor the pledge they made to attend to the feeder roads. And this is where we are. We can't get to the land. Look, I used to go up to the land in a little 600 yacht. A fella had a truck and he can't go there.
Yes.
That tells you the story.
No, but what you say makes sense, because I went to Moncton recently and I tried to go up to a place called Canwell, right? I used to go right up to where my grandmother had some land. Mr. Providence, when I reach halfway, I have to come out the vehicle and walk.
Well, good, that's the same thing.
I walk until the weary.
And here now, Mr. De Freitas, they're talking about scholarship for children. Now, if we were attending to our agriculture, the farmers would have been able to support the children right up to university.
Definitely.
Look, Ken Boyer is a man from, his father was a farmer, and so on.
And if I say that I am disappointed with Subutu Caesar as the Minister of Agriculture, people will say why. You know why?
It was out of my mouth because
you know why I'm disappointed with him?
That.
You know why I'm disappointed with him? He is a recipient of a banana scholarship. I didn't
realize that.
He know what it is to be a poor person to get a scholarship.
Yes, and here now, Mr. De Freitas, his constituency, the people live in comfortable houses, not far from good agricultural land.
Exactly.
You catch what I'm saying?
Yes.
Good and hard-working people. He has let himself down and let down his people. So, Mr. De Freitas, all the best to you. I won't take up more.
Thank you for calling me.
I am saying because of the fact that we did not address that agriculture situation in the society, we lost association problem.
Yes.
We lost over 35,000 jobs.
Yes.
This is, we haven't replaced them yet.
Yes.
This is why we have many people on the road in Kingston.
Yes. Okay.
So, sir, thank you very much for your time. You stay strong.
Have a good evening, Mr. Providence. That is why my cousin Dougie Freitas always say that the agriculture. Hey, and let me remind people, my father, we have some callers, so we go back to the lives. Good evening.
It's not the vaccine here, like.
No, I could talk for now until 10 o'clock. You know. Me alone. Here's something, right? Kama. My father told me that in his days, they used to have rice, right? He tell me they used to do root, cotton, and banana. That was king. That was green gold. Because we have and we had fertile lands, and people used to plow the lands, and as Mr. Providence said earlier, they used to make a healthy, worthwhile living from farming, and they used to send their children to school. So Boto Caesar is somebody who benefits from a scholarship, but your mother and your father make a mistake. They should encourage him to become an agriculturist and not a lawyer. We seem to have a car. Good evening.
Good evening, Brother Kingsley. How are you?
Good evening, Mr. Hamilton.
I like what I'm hearing you saying. Greeting to your brother there next to you. But I think you have to be very clear. Either you want Gonsalve or you want the Mr. Shallow.
No, I want.
No,
let me make it clear.
Go ahead, my brother.
I want the people of St. Vincent to get quality representation. I am convinced that Mr. Shallow will bring that to the people of North Leeward and St. Vincent and Grenadines.
I hear you, but let me make it clear to you. Politics doesn't work that way. If you think, for example, let me give you an example why I supported NDP. I left the ULP because I used to believe that Gonsalve would deliver, although people warned me that, we're dealing with a dictatorship. But I gave him that opportunity, and I found it out myself.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is that you have to have a leadership. A candidate is really not the engine of a party, especially the way we see politics. We saw America, we saw Donald Trump with his craziness, then we saw Biden with his craziness, people going back to, a leadership is very significant. And this is why I have said, I believe that if some of the forces we have, who we think, with equality, they love people, they love democracy, they are not arrogant, they love God, they don't love bribe, they don't, they're willing to follow the Constitution. Put them in a situation whereby you have vice president over them, and they bottle to pieces. And this is why, for me, I think you would have been a good candidate. You know why, Kingsley? Because one, you're strong-headed. You're not going to allow any leadership or leader to destroy the people so that you could get a salary and you'll be popular. And so it brings me to Mr. Cupid. I called him when my good friend Lance told me that, he was going to be a candidate. I said, Mr. Cupid, you know that the NDP, they've lost about 5 elections already, literally given away, because when you look at the 2020 election, 50% of the population voted for change. But as you will know, that the NDP didn't get the amount of seats. And of course, we know why, because of course, we didn't have fair elections. I mean, I am not talking this by guess, but the reality. And so we are going to have people who are on the ground with people in their homes. And I call you and I said, even Francis Gibson. I call you and tell you Jerry Scott, John Hahn, Arthur Williams. I give you names of people who, came out in the rum shops, in the highways, the byways, and they were there and they were speaking with people. And what we seem to have now is a new kind of behavior which is unacceptable, Kingsley. Kingsley, I will put my X for you rather than put my X for what I'm seeing from these young guys. I think they have missed out on a very good opportunity. We have radio, we have internet, we have you see, for example, what is going on in America election. And they're waiting until the last 2-3 weeks to come out and tell you that they love you. I mean, tell me, you hear me every day. You're hearing people like Dave Roberts and other people, you hear them call on a regular basis. You call in and I could feel your pain. And when you call in, tell them, it doesn't, it don't help you, Somebody want to fight you and kill you or chop you up because, it's either there ULP or NDP. You can't express yourself. We feel like if you're in Venezuela or Hamas or one of those countries. But I'm saying, for God's sake, what is sense that you're going on somebody's credential because they're in a West Indies cricket or whether they're a doctor? We want people on the ground. We want to hear people who are willing to stand up and speak and tell us about the very issues that affect us. Right now, Kingsley, I don't know if I told you this, but I know I spoke to you sometime recently. I was there in Friday going down the road, and a young lady going down to the bakery down there, by Randy down there, and going down that, going down to that area there by the pharmacy, in the vicinity of the there's a accountant place down in that area there. Where that area there, where I live in that area, coming down.
Opposite Kenton.
And a young lady being behind me, and she was saying, Mister, help me. I said, what? So what happened? She said, I'm selling okra. I said, but what are you young person? I think she was about 9, 10 around there. I said, what are you a young person do selling okra? She said, no, well, mister, I'm selling them because I want to, fit to go to school and the passage and other things, because my mother lost her job. And I felt sorry for her. I had $10 in my pocket, Kingsley. And I went by the pharmacy, I changed it. I gave her she went on to explain to me that, that she's going to a school. I'm going to call the name of the school. And it's a youngster. And she said, mister, help me. I gave her $5 for one okra, and I asked the pharmacist, you could ask him by Roy's Pharmacy. And another guy was there, and another guy was coming in, and they empathized with the young lady. And, I felt good. But think about the amount of young people not in school, Kingsley, and we go back to the 2009, between 2009 and 2013, 1,500, you can imagine 1,500 dropouts, most of them from secondary school children. What is really happening with our education system? But I'm saying this to say, think about the gravity of what is happening to our poor people. And I spoke to you concerning the very situation in the supermarkets. Kingsley, me tell you something. Food alone taking everything. We begged Mr. Gonsalve. We spoke about the VAT. And then to counter that, up comes the great, you call him opposition leader. Up comes the great opposition leader to counter. And he said, you know what? Put me inside of the government and I'm going to drop VAT from 16% to 13%. I called him and said, Dr. Friday, be very careful of what you're saying, because this is not fooling people. This is a very serious situation with people's lives, And I'm not here to confuse people. What I'm saying here, in order for you to be able to cut VAT is a few years ago we had about 80, we were about 80 million. Now that is cut in half. In order for you to be able to run the country, in order for you to be in a position to be able to do anything with VAT, you've got to first build back this productive sector. And this is the difference between Anna Eustace and it's painful. Dr. Friday, I said, Dr. Friday, be very careful. And so let me make it clear what Anna Eustace said about VAT. Anna Eustace said that I would take off VAT off of the basic items until I could get the economy in a good stead. And if it is that you could cut the VAT from 16, it means that there's no need to move on because the economy is going good. And this is the difficulty I'm having with all of the candidates and all of the politicians in all of the sides, and especially new ones. They don't know anything about the economy. They're not feeling the very pain that our young people are feeling. They're not feeling the plight of the farmers, the fishermen, the people who are suffering. And they seem to want to represent us to do what? To get a salary? To do what? To go in there to be our bosses or to be our servants? I am telling you, I'm not happy, Kingsley, with what we are seeing from all of the politicians. And I beg Shallow from how much now months now? Shallow, even though you're not coming with raw political issues, speak about the issues. Please speak about that. Speak about the reality of what is happening with the at the hospital. Speak about the situation, what is happening with the young boys that are now turning to violence. Young girls are prostituting their body. Speak about the fishermen that have lost their industry. Speak about the reality that there's really no medication. Me ain't talking here no kind of Ras Gonsalves what you just tell me over Friday tell me, I'm talking here reality. And the pain and the plight of our young people, our citizens who are afraid to look. If Hamayen call one or two callers and the caller who called before me, I thank you very much for making it your business to call, and I encourage people to call. Why? Why is it that our people are not calling? Because they're afraid Gonsalves, they're afraid Friday, they're afraid Liquor, they're afraid the moderator.
Wrap it up first.
Let me just end by saying this. You call Miss Eustace, the Mitchell. That's a very good lady. She's a wonderful lady. She helped a lot of people. I know her personally. She did with my daughter. But the thing is, right, there's an article, there's a document in the newspaper where she was saying she wants a free chance. And I'm going to appeal to her and the candidates who want to come forward, whether in ULP or NDP. You all have failed us. You all have not been in the discussion. Yes, you all have degree, you have, money and other things like that. But you all have not been actually speaking out like Brother Kingsley. And many of...
You still there? You still there? I jump out. Okay. 4579997, Mr. Hamilton. We have another call. Let's go to live. If it's not love on, cut off the person. Good evening.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, sir.
Kingsley, you have something to say. I wonder if the people who were born in Bush and in the class with sticking people. You say have something in the car that you made the electricity?
Me, what you say now?
You say have something in the car for me?
Yeah. Pass it tomorrow sometime or target.
Yeah, but I wonder if there's people in West Plaza and Green Hills and smoke up a place in that. Yeah, none of them government.
Well, I did make a representation for you to the CWS and the post in charge of people and bushfire and wildfire, and they say that they were looking. They say they were looking into it for you. Okay, that's why I didn't mention it last week. Did they say they were looking into it?
This country a real joke place.
Yeah, but you vote for joke place.
But never you say who did link up to Taiwan?
No, I say the people of St. Vincent and Grenada through the NDP had diplomatic relationship since 1981, and Ralph Gonsalves intensified that relationship, and we benefit. And I am suggesting that I would like to see if Dr. Friday become Prime Minister, we switch to mainland China.
Oh, so 81, I mean, that's
81 is a long time ago.
So, to link up a diplomatic thing.
Yeah,
well, the system in this place right now, man, we need some laws to pass in the country and things. Yeah. So we say, if we say run down side, Mr. Deep or Mr. Shallow? What is this at all? You can't jump in shallow water. But in deep water, you go shave the jungle. What is this at all? It should be you so bright and diplomatic and articulate for them for the you know where take place, man. You're going good. You want to be most sensible one.
All right.
But we need more good laws in the country to take place, that the things are going right.
Okay.
So that is good.
All right then, thank you.
All
right, yeah. You see, we need much more enforcement of laws, and who have to enforce the laws is the cabinet member. We seem to have another caller. Good evening, caller.
Good evening.
Good evening, Carl.
My voice ain't 100%, but I'm listening, and I still let me tell you something.
Yeah, that's good.
In Barbados for the Christmas, for this Christmas coming,
Uh-huh.
if they go in low on eggs, the Farmer Association will tell the government that give them the okay they could bring in. You have to give the okay to bring in.
Uh-huh.
That don't happen here, so.
So in Barbados,
Anybody bring anything?
in Barbados, the farmers advise the government if they have enough quantity.
Association, farmers, they had a farmers group and all that.
Okay. So if they have enough
But over the
quality
year-
and quantity, they encourage the government not to import eggs, right?
Well, yeah.
Okay.
When to and when you can.
Okay.
But over the years in St. Vincent, all the farmers stand by themselves. They never together.
And what you
So
think?
if we talk
What you think is responsible for farmers not coming together?
I wish they could tell me. I couldn't speculate because I mean at the time I wasn't a farmer. But what I'm saying, what I noticed over the years is that people treat the banana like if it gonna last forever. A man go home $49,000 and buy a pickup cash. Could I give the bank 10 and leave the rest money?
I remember my father telling me that this farmer walked down by Silky and buy a van cash with a biscuit pan full of pure silver.
People still should talk on couriers up to them say, oh, couriers never want to sell them, but couriers have the policy. That cash money now work like that. It's even worse today. So I've been saying over the years, if you give the bank 10 from 49, you had the rest in the bank, you could take out and put in.
Yes.
But I guess nobody educated that part.
Yes.
Farmers today planting dasheen and do security work until the dasheen come in, until the dasheen ripe. Who ate the crop? No corn between the dasheen, no okra. That could be in 8 weeks, started blossom, started selling 9 weeks. Nobody ate the crop. If these fellas was bragging over the years and said they put in 2 sausage cup of touchdown in a spray can. When they kill you, what will happen? But it's when they call the program. I mean, I know when they call a certain program years ago, fellas come in and say, what he know? I see land working liberty in 1978. I planted the first cucumber in 1978 that I could tell you what rabbit waste or rabbit urine could do from that time to now. And I get better. But everybody only for themselves, nobody together. So when they say Ralph, I am saying farmer, what to the farmer? Over the years, nothing, the same thing even today. This man has a contract with some dasheen, he have none now. He can't even call and brought up the word and get 10 sack from him. He wants to take the contract and he know he can't supply. He name name A man bring 3 pigs for you to the barbecue, you have to serve away by money, you know. I mean, I want to check, because I mean, I have no ID. Business not run so. Thing change.
I hear you.
I see this thing they talk to you about, you know.
Yeah.
You see, I mean, you from the Billy area went to Billy school, and I show you the Mr. Nichols who had all them land treat up over the hill, right behind Bascom.
Yeah.
I used to go pick all the mango them for him. I mean, I could tell you I never eat no mangoes, but at least I got grafted mango. So if I tell you so that mean I was in Billy, I live Billy.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yes, man.
But everybody only blaming. Look, for instance, some of the road to go to the farmers' land. Lime now. Cable Wireless haven't done it for years. Why Cable Wireless can't put half the money, government put half the money to fix the road? Show on some stone. Farmers have nice house, nice vehicle. But when they go bush, you have to go river to East Delhi. Not even a toilet over the years. I mean, a serious thing, you know. You call a meeting, man, or a tape thing to go back to play for this person or that person. Instead of we having a successful meeting and choose somebody, and a craziness still going on. We play. farmers make money and educate the children on the land that they wouldn't want to leave somebody peace.
Yes.
When they're supposed to become a doctor in our clan.
but Carl,
So,
I can remember farmers, people who did well to send their family to children to send school and things. And hey, when they go and carry them to school, hey them, hey, I say me work hard, me want I become a doctor and a lawyer. Farmers, you know, working hard, making money, send his children and say them, don't come no farmer, come a doctor or a lawyer. I say, imagine that.
And I don't know how farmers could sit down and agree to take some of the best land in certain areas to build houses instead of planting food.
Yes.
And if you want to talk about what they're selling today, some of them, either they're ready to go in the back, left them another 2 weeks. You can make a better money.
Definitely.
Look at the ginger they're selling now, cut piece and try it up.
Well,
they
probably tell you the reason why they're reaping the food before they mature, they're trying to control the prey and larcenists or the thief and thief woman who want to dig them thing before the time come.
But I bet they should come back to the same point. I bet if they're together as a group, each force will get a shotgun.
No, we can't. We talk of vigilance.
No. I'm just saying it's protection. One man. If you go as a farmers group, talk to the police, talk to the whosoever.
The last time a man used a shotgun and shoot some people, I've been vexed with them, you know. He blow off all them foot clean. So, me not too fond of the shotgun business.
It's plenty thing, but I mean, we just blaming. I mean, what they do over the years. And I hear call some young name and some them others one day, and I realize it's Kishore and not Kishon. But you'll get that still.
Yes, okay.
But I don't just want to just depend on Kishore. I don't want to ask Kishore or Mr. Cupid or any other young person to let me see your tongue 5 years later to see how it looked. You were looking Friday boots for the last 5 years. It's people, you have to represent the people. And when they go to talk. I mean, Brother Hamilton mentioned you. Brother, just stay away there with the program and your political activist thing, because first they're going to say, when you come to much about party. Speak your mind and then I want that.
Yeah. All right, thank you for your
some
advice.
of them know, but they're not going to tell you that.
Yes.
Yeah. But as I say, we have plenty of things to talk.
Yes.
I can't take up your whole program, so I'll get up by the piece of cake, but we need to stick a little bit more together.
Okay.
As Vincentian, as farmers, as taximan. You don't be great after taximan, you know.
Yeah.
You're born in it, you know it.
Yeah, I graduated long time.
You could still go and drive a taxi to wait from right in your house. I mean, it's serious business. I mean, you learn it.
Yes.
I mean, fellas try the Kingsley talks or Kingsley views.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes,
so keep it on, man.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, okay, Carl. Have a great evening. 45799 97 532 799 97. And let me say good evening to Miss Jordan and Val Matthias' mommy. Good to know that you guys are listening. We seem to have a caller. Yeah, take it still. If it's good evening.
Hello.
Hello.
How we doing?
Hey Queens. I hear you. I think I heard you yesterday morning with those with those two girls. Yes.
Yeah. I agree with a lot of things Hamilton say, you know, although not everything. And one of the things you always say that people trying to stifle you from airing your views.
Yeah, well, I'm used to that by now, though.
Well, some do abruptly cut you off.
Yes.
Like Ferdinand. And the others, okay, like Dominique. I call Dominique regularly. And we share the same views.
I saw him this morning.
I
saw him this morning at the airport. I think he was doing some business out there, so he come to me. He did say hello, though. Yeah. Dominic Sullivan, yeah.
Yeah, so we share a lot of some of the same views, like on tourism and hotel development and culture. But last week I was telling him that I called with a show when Sabato was on. And the person that probably running the board, I asked a question and then the person disconnected the call.
Mm-hmm.
Sabato answered the question, they kind of circle around it. But the person that running the board didn't want me to follow up with a question.
Okay.
They disconnected the call.
You know, but hey, now you mentioned that, I would like to know who the authority plan to be appointed as the new permanent secretary in the Ministry of Tourism. I have a suggestion for them. There is a permanent secretary named Miss Peters. She's from Belmont. I hope that the authorities will make the necessary appointment and put her to be the permanent secretary at the Ministry of Tourism. Okay. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And one of these days, you're going to say you heard it from me, okay?
You're making an early plug.
You're going to say you heard it from me. Yeah.
I'm making an early plug for Bernard Wiley
To do what?
to replace Luther McIntosh as the Consul General in the NDP administration. Early plug.
Okay.
Yeah, but getting back to what I was saying.
Wishful thinking.
So I was telling Sutherland about it, and he didn't want to hear me talk about that. So he intervened and want me to discuss something else.
Yes.
So that's why I say some people, they do it kindly and gentle. They won't just cut you off abruptly like Ferdinand.
Yes.
But at the same time, they don't want you to question nothing, criticize or anything. So that's what they do.
Well,
Nitrate is the same thing. They will sometimes they might cut you off, and sometimes they might intervene and talk for 5 minutes, 7 minutes, 10 minutes, move on to a different subject so you can't get to say what you want to say.
I hear you.
So that's the way. Some do it kindly and some abruptly and kindly and gentle, and some others like Ferdinand. I'll beat Ferdinand to death. They'll cut you off abruptly.
All right,
So have a
Queen.
good night.
Okay, Queen. Thanks for calling.
Bye-bye.
All right, 4579997 532 79997. You can send your WhatsApp. We seem to have a caller. Good evening.
Good evening, Kings. You hear me?
Loud and clear.
At the Panny Road, yes, my boy Queen song like a lie, man. Boy Queen call back and tell me if you're a lie, man. It seem like it coming back to me. Seem like that guy that was in class with Cian Marshall. Family, you know, Queen song like me. Yeah, he song like me family. Me not go sell you out Queens, but call back and say yes if you went to school with Cian Marshall and yes if you come from you. Now, the caller before Queens, I think a caller was calling who was talking about the farmers.
Mm-hmm.
A caller call him, right?
Yeah, he from my area, Carl. Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm.
He not talk, he preach.
Yes.
Because I've always said politics have tapped into the bad-mindedness of Vincent John and exploit it to their fullest extent. Started with Mitchell and I started with Ralph. Tap into the bad-mindedness of Vincent John because Kingsley,
yeah, Max.
a taxi man might bad-mind you and don't come together with you for hold one head. So you're here do one thing, you are do another thing. So are you weak? Instead of how you come together and get strength now.
Yeah.
Same thing with the farmers. That's why outsiders could come and offer them $50-something a pound for medical marijuana. And all them do a mumble amongst themselves. Now I read something in the newspaper, I think last week or week before last, that the Minister of Agriculture said we might have to be importing fish. Is any truth to that or that is propaganda, Kings? Me asking you know.
Well, I heard the rumor, but I didn't follow it up. But I don't think that is ever in the forefront of importing fish in Senegal. So what the fish that we just catch at rainforest on Calico? What do the fish do?
Them go outside for them and those. Them and for you.
Oh, okay. Well, I go find out.
Because if you, I need somebody to find. You needed to find out for me, and somebody who's in. If all you're hearing me, all you call in and tell me if it is lie or if it's true. Because I had warned about that.
Yeah,
if you look at Bahamas had to put a restriction on the conch. When an entity went in and started to catch conchs, more than the conchs could we produce.
Yeah, but here's something, Max. Max, I buy some skipjacks already, right? I was told not to buy the skipjacks, but I buy them, and I tell you something. Me so fancy them, They're too hard, man.
Them too hard.
Yeah.
Maybe you not get good cooking gas, man. You have to get gas from Venezuela. You have to get gas from Venezuela. You must get gas from Guyana.
Somebody tell me put it on some wood fire.
Coal pit. But if that is the reality that we may have to import fish, and I didn't think in my life I would have to see that we have to be entertaining a conversation about importing fish. Well, and that is something very serious. And
well, I promise you, I'm going to find out anyhow to see if I get any answer from the Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries to see if there's really something.
Okay, and also I was having a discussion about crime with a farmer, Tapcap, if he was police commissioner or if he was below police commissioner.
Mm-hmm.
And I asked his genuine input how he think we should address crime in St. Vincent. He man tell me crime they all about.
But here's something, now you mentioned the issue of crime, right? I asked myself, what is the purpose of Randy Small? You know who Randy Small, right?
Yeah, man, he did do a good job. Remember when the girl be missing, the farmer bring a group together and find the girl and pick him up. After that, I hear nothing else about him.
Well, I know his mother listens to the program, right? And I am not impressed with Randy Small and none of the issues dealing with crime and the issue of crime. I think Randy Small more sound like a politician than somebody who have the issue of crime and the interests of the people. Definitely. I'm disappointed with Randy.
You see, well, the late Jerry Josh, this rest his soul, if we think any politician could solve crime and any police could solve crime, we are in for something else. Crime is a community issue,
mm-hmm.
and a lot of us nasty and wicked. Look, he had some Trinidadians, they get catch with some marijuana, which I don't think nobody should get locked up for marijuana. But them man, any back at open back vehicle putting up 6 gang sign. That mean we harboring criminals in our country, and then when the criminals and them commit them crime, we are blaming police. But then somebody know them man they harbor criminal in the community. And we sit down and quiet and don't say nothing. But when them break we place, now we want the same police come and figure out when we not give police them proper evidence to go to them fight them crime properly.
Yes.
So crime is our problem, and we have to stop ignoring crime and do what we have to do. By the time the crime reach police and the time it done late, it done late because the crime don't commit. But we could prevent the crime by holding our people accountable, our children. If some of them are the children with flat screen TV and them downstairs and know them children are walking, we are thief thing them are they. Ask them what them do with that.
Yeah.
Your child go in St. Martin Secondary School, but they have on more expensive shoes. Them now walk no way we get that. And these are things, but we have to get back a sense of community, just like how my friend Bamo, Azzy, you should be able to send me home as a youth man. Boy, go home, Miss Matt, Miss Matt, wanna go out here late night. You could have sent me home.
I see him this morning.
That my friend, he helped raise me, he helped mold me and turn me into a nice young man because of people like them in the community could have been able to send home me as a youth man. Now I see a video the other day, parents go fight teacher in the school. Them parents need to get locked up and do community service because
Max, now parents are go school, go fight teacher because I can remember when I was younger, right? We had this teacher, her name was Miss Murphy, right? She was a little bit on the rougher side. And when she punished the children in school, I remember parents used to go to the school and try to fight Miss Murphy. But she was a rough guy to her. She would have handled herself. Yeah.
But so a long time I get
a long time.
People are them teacher. When I hire rude pick me at them, not send them school for discipline. If them not at home, you can't expect a teacher them to teach them and disrupt students who really want to learn. But we have a lot of issues we have to deal with as a community. And until we fix our own bad-minded ways, no political party gonna help St. Vincent and the Grenadines. None.
All right, Max.
Kingsley, big up yourself here. Now we go. Me you just go at it, but you're my brother and me love you.
Yeah, take care, Babs.
It is what it is.
Thanks,
Yes, buddy.
Thanks for calling. Yeah, let me say good evening
Yes.
to Tommy King. Tommy King is related to Curtis King. And let me say good evening to Victor Byron. Good evening, Victor Byron. We seem to have another caller. Let me say good evening to Patsy Hola. So good evening. Hey.
Good afternoon.
Yeah.
You was on the best. Was on your best college.
I catch you. I know catch your voice. I just recommend a chance for a good friend of yours there.
Well, I see. One thing I want to correct you on. Right? It was a matter who introduced I want to convince and the Prime Minister Prime Minister Keto.
Oh, it was that surgery. It was Keto. Okay, right. Thanks for your correction. Okay, right, okay.
And two, I don't know if you'll see you this afternoon where some action is going on at the volcano. You hear me?
No, I didn't hear you. Repeat that.
No, I was asking if you'll see you tonight where Dr. Robert said activities were going on at the volcano.
Oh, somebody dragged to my attention this morning from SVGA, but I can't confirm what they say. That is why I'm not speaking to it. But somebody did say it has some heating taking place at the La Soufrière area. But now I have not heard anything from Nemo, now Michelle Fab, so we're not in a position to comment about that particular rumor. Okay?
Yeah, he was on the station tonight. It was like no station. We have to keep waiting and it was too hard.
Okay.
Yeah, they cannot eruption again.
Yeah, we have a bit of difficulty hearing. I don't know if it's your phone, but we can.
Yeah, I believe it's phone because sometimes I call there and I can't get it.
Yeah, yes, it's the phone, so we're not hearing it so clearly.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
All right, well, you have a good night, eh?
Okay, thanks for calling, Mr. Peters. Thanks. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, we seem to have another caller. Good evening.
Hey, good evening.
Hey, good evening, Becker, mate.
Hey, Kingsley, good evening. And Kamal, good evening.
Can
you hear me?
I hear you now. Go ahead. Beside the good evening, Kamal and Kingsley.
I was just
I hear you better now.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to say pleasant good night to St. Vincent and the Grenadines and to all the people in Florida and all the people in Florida who are facing that monstrous hurricane Milton.
Okay,
I have a lot of relatives and friends in Florida, and I'm praying for their safety.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah. I want to join you, and you mentioned that the Prime Minister is not feeling well, and I want to join you in wishing him good health.
Yeah, I understand that he's not feeling too well, but it's not major, but it's just a small thing. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, still, we all one Vinci.
Yes.
We have different political views, but we all one Vinci.
Yes.
And I'm proud of my St. Vincent. And Kamal, I just want to apologize to you and Kingsley for the program last week. Maybe I should not have.
There's no need to apologize. No need to be hung up on that.
No, after I think about it, I said maybe I should have taken the high road. And as the caller.
But strange enough, Becky, the first person came to Kamal thoughts when I came in the studio tonight was you. He said he hoped that that negative force don't call tonight, but she already called, Yeah.
Well, I've heard, and people have to remember your program is being heard all over the world.
All over.
And there are people from all different nationalities who are listening. I have my friends listening to sometimes, and nobody wants to hear that nonsense. You know, nobody wants to hear that. If you, as Bongo Shaka said last week on last week's program, if you have a point to make, whether you agree or disagree, make your point.
Make your point.
But these name calling and this little, you know, it really makes you feel like you're not read, or you just have one way of seeing things in life. You know, I think
are you scraping the bottom of the barrel? That's it.
Yeah, that's it. And what the persons don't realize is you're embarrassing yourself.
Definitely.
You're embarrassing yourself when people are looking down on you. Because if I saw that person the next day after the program, and I look at her, I would look at her as a political dunce, really. You know, because I mean, honestly, I mean, I hate to say this. I thought we had a better St. Vincent than this. People are so divided over politics. All of us cannot be in the same boat. All of us cannot be voting for the same party. So we have to respect the other. I respect our Prime Minister. I mean, I hold him to the highest honor.
Yes.
But I think, as I've said before, it is time for him to go home, you know, and give some younger blood a chance. I'm not going to call him names. He have done well for St. Vincent. He have done well for us.
Yes.
You know, but it's time for us to have new leadership, new blood. Give Dr. Friday a chance. We can't say Dr. Friday can't do this. We never give him a chance to govern.
Yes.
You know, and so if he gets there, and when he gets there, because I believe he's going to win the next election, and when he gets there and he does not perform, then we can say, you know, well, Dr. Friday, it's time for you to give somebody else a chance.
Yes.
You know.
Yes. Yes.
But my point is, we as Vincentian, we are more from my point of view, I think we're more loving. But some people are just honestly politically blind. It does not matter whether it's good or bad. And once you say something against the person that they believe is their idol or God, as we say, oh, crap a smoke a pipe. You know? I honestly wasn't really gonna call, but I say, you know what? I'm not gonna let
nobody get on
your skin. I'm not gonna call. I'm not gonna call them. I'm not gonna call them no names. I'm not gonna have anything ill to say. But I'm not gonna let someone, as you say, who's thinking from the bottom of the barrel make me that call.
Yeah, don't let the tractors get at you, man. You stay focused, okay?
I am, and you know, I mean, but last week I had to really try to correct that, because I think she, as I told you, and I've told you this several times, you also banned that block her from the call in the program.
Yeah.
And it's not gonna be, it's not illegal. Yeah. She's a disruptor. She disrupt your programs.
Yeah.
You'll have a smooth program flowing greatly, and here she comes in with her rudeness.
Yes.
That's all I can say. It is rudeness.
Yes. Okay,
and
man.
disrespect for the audience, the listening audience. I don't think it's fair to you, Kingsley.
Yes.
And I don't think it's fair. And if I was you, I would ask the management if there was a way you could block her.
Yeah,
I mean, I know they're probably going to say no, but I would block her number.
Yeah, but the technology is anything is possible. Yes.
Yeah. And but before I leave, I hope my friend, my radio friend Anita is okay. I haven't heard her for a while. I hope she's doing well.
I think she's gonna call next though.
Okay, well, I'll make room for her. You and Kamal continue to do the job you're doing.
Yes.
Don't let her get in the way. Just block her.
Okay,
when she calls, and if you recognize the number, just block her out. Nobody wants to hear her.
Okay, we take your advice.
Have a good night. Have a good night, guys.
Yeah, okay then.
Yes.
23 minutes on to 10 o'clock. You listen to us at WeFM. Tonight's program is being sponsored by Basil's Bar. If I am downstairs, the couple student, Obiki, the Manners Hotel, and in Mustic. We seem to have a caller. Good evening. So like I say, the views tonight that I expressed are not those of Basil's Bar. Nah, we are friends. The views expressed. The views expressed. So Anita, let me say good evening to you. You're playing hard to get to your one for call. All right, okay, if you want to call in, because at least your friend Becker made remind me and remember you. So it's good to do that. So I had my commentary. Mr. Pravi thought that my presentation was okay. I spoke about Dr. Gonsalves' attitude towards people who has, let me seem to have a caller. Good evening.
That woman,
Okay, yeah.
Right now, I'm blaming Becker, Meg, for that. He was actually supposed to just call the program,
the activator,
and just say, make his contribution and don't go back to last week. It just raised up an ant's nest there, an unnecessary call.
When you hear Relance by telling that you're roll, what's it about the Relance? All right, okay, yeah.
Anyway, we have a WhatsApp here. Somebody, right? Thank you, Call-Off. The host of many programs seems not to realize that it's not only persons in SVG who are listening, viewing the program. Control is essential, and there must be a limitation on some of the utterance which are made on the programs.
Well, we beg to endorse what you said, and thank you for supporting the call before the last with your comments. And it's good to see that persons are listening and they think that what you say makes sense. And we will try our best to keep out people who are not making any sense and continue to scrape the bottom of the barrel. Okay? Yeah.
Somebody said Dr. Robinson spoke on it today, Kingsley. The video is on Facebook.
Dr. Robertson. The issue. You mean Professor Robertson?
Oh.
Okay. The evangelist. The volcanist. Okay. Anything else up there that what were comment on?
Somebody had written this. Hamilton. I don't know if he understands this, but cutting VAT creates an economic stimulus. You increase people's purchasing power. It generates more tax revenue for government. It's a win-win situation for both the government and the consumers.
I support Mr. Freddie's proposal that if and when income premise, you can reduce the VAT from 16 to 13%. As you say, put this disposable incomes into the consumer hand. But what you have to take into consideration, Mr. Freddie, is when you reduce the VAT from 16 to 30%, where you're going to raise that extra monies that we don't get from the VAT. Because I can remember when Arnie used to stood as Prime Minister for 3 months or so and then leader of the opposition. He was concerned about he made some positive comments about the monies that we get from VAT. And he said that he was surprised that in the first initiative we got 18 million, not like 80 what said by the time, it was 18. And he said that VAT generated a lot of money. But here what happened? VAT create inflation, and inflation seems to be a problem when it comes to the poor man pocket. I went into the supermarket yesterday and to do some shopping. And when the woman tell me the amount of money, I tell you, I forget the checkbook home, so let me put back some of them pay. She said, if it high enough money in a fee shame, I put back it in there, man. Yeah, so I said, let me do that. Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah. So we spoke earlier about Prime Minister's comment about Mr. Shallow. And I think that Mr. Shallow has created an awareness, and he's created a bit of fright under Carlos James and Ralph Gonsalves, because there is no doubt in my mind that this young man is going to make a change, and a change, an effective change. He's going to go so far that he's going to beat Carlos James in the next election. Even the NDP will win the next election, Carlos James is going to be defeated by Dr. Shaw. I never see a candidate who created more buzz and impact. As soon as he announced his candidacy, everybody gone wild. That tells you something about the quality of the gentleman. Is either he's going to make an impact. And Hamilton speak about leadership earlier. Mr. Hamilton, you have to have some level of leadership in a political party once you are a leader. Don't say that you should have a dictator, but when Ralph Gonsalves go to cabinet for have cabinet meetings, he have to persuade most of the cabinet members that you have to side with me on this one. That is just politics for you, Mr. Hamilton. When they speak in Parliament, it's different to when they're making a presentation at cabinet, because when they go make a presentation at cabinet, they're speaking for you and representing them to get things done. But in Parliament, they're speaking as a parliamentarian, and not everything a parliamentarian, while they have immunity in the House of Parliament. Not everything you hear, you should believe, eh? Current old people, take it with a grain of salt, okay? Yeah, okay. But when you hear they have a cabinet meeting, remember not every parliamentarian sit at the cabinet meetings, okay? And not every cabinet member has the level of influence like Kamala Gonsalves. You could see Curtis King lobbying for a project in our constituency. Well, I think we don't get much done because he doesn't have that killer instinct to impress and simultaneously impress on Kamala Gonsalves, who is the Minister of Finance and Prime Minister, who is Prime Minister for every square inch. Okay, yeah. You know. I tell you, I was following a ceremony where they were speaking about the ministers of foreign affairs who sat in the past, and Dr. Slater came in for some praise. We also heard about Louis Straker, former Senator Peters, and then nobody mentioned Frederick Stevenson. I said, Lord of mercy, they forget him, but no, okay, I beg to say something, but it's not good for radio. But you could figure it out, okay? If you put square pegs in the wrong hole, respect. Okay, right. So the time in St. Vincent and Grenadines is 60 minutes before 10 o'clock. We want to thank Basil's Bar to continue to sponsor this program. We want to thank WeFM to provide the transportation effort so you can hear us speak on the issue. What we're going to do, we're going to play you interlude of music until 10 o'clock. We're going to start at Papadas. Then we're going to get Beckett to sing for you. St. Vincent, I Love You, that beautiful song. And the last one we have in mind is the best single individual calypso that ever sing in St. Vincent. Never say that Beckett is not Dr. Beckett, but I'm yet to be convinced that Perseverance by Razam Shallow, up until today, is one of the best songs. That song could play every year with its meaning. So for all of you who took time out to be here with us, all have a great night and enjoy our 50 minutes of music. Compliments, Basil's Bar and WeFM. I gone.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's back! Leave me alone. Oh, I beg you, come off me, boy. Come on, nigga. Oh, mama, go, mama. You tell me stand up. You tell me be strong. Hold up your head up high. Look up in the sky. You tell me hold on. Never let go. Do the thing that is right so that you will see to tomorrow. Tell me all of my head, brothers reaching to the sky. Tell me don't cry, don't cry, don't cry, my son, don't you cry. Tell me all of my head, know all of them who jealous I. Tell me be strong, be strong, be strong. Conscious youth, be strong. The man with the anger, he tell me be strong. The man with the anger, he tell me don't run. The man with the anger, he tell me hold on. He tell me trample me enemies, trample me enemies, trample them, trample them, jump, 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 trample them until they're dead. Oh, oh, come on, lady, come on, lady. He tell me to love and not to wait, to go to them who will do bad to you. He tell me to rise up, all those who fall, put our helping hand, let us stand on their feet as tall. Tell me don't jealous nobody, tell me don't thief no envy. Tell me do good, so that good